Hello everyone, and welcome to Module 5, Professional Websites and Branding for You and Your Classroom. I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation, and so should you, so that your links become active. And when you click on them, they'll take you out to the internet. Okay. So as an overview to this module, we're going to start with some overall introduction to classroom websites. We're going to connect you by showing you some existing teacher or coach type website samples. And then we're going to apply some of that knowledge in helping you to look at some of the tools for both creating as well as managing your website. And then we're going to reflect with your discussion board questions and extend with some step-by-step instructions on how you're going to start and then progress through and ultimately finish your website in the next couple of weeks. So thanks for joining me, and here we go. Again, in your required reading for this course, we have Integrating Technology into the Classroom. And that book is linked here. I'm sure you all have it by now, chapters 11 and 12, and you will be discussing your thoughts and experiences from that book in our online discussion board in Blackboard. Here's the essential discussion board questions that you're going to be answering for this module, and this is kind of a preview for you so you can kind of have them in the back of your mind as we go through this presentation, and then be prepared to see them again at the end and then answer them in your discussion board prompts. Okay, number one, what is the difference between a website, which is a Weebly, for example, a personal web page, which is an About Me or social media pages, and an LMS classroom. So there's all sorts of online communication formats, some listed here. There's a lot more than that, but what's the kind of the benefit? What's the compare and contrast of each of them, and why would you choose one over the other, one during one situation versus another? And then number two, how often will you post updates to your page? So I want you to be thinking about your management strategy. That's always the key when starting some sort of online communication, is you want it to stay up to date. And even if that means just updating it once a month, once a week, you want to try to be regular about it so that folks just know when to expect contact from you, and they think maybe if you haven't posted in a couple weeks, they start unfollowing you because you're no longer active, but you really are active, you just had a longer response time frame. So be thinking about that, and then consider communicating that out on your start page as well. Number three, what are the benefits and drawbacks to having multiple people like you, your parents, your students in your classroom post updates to your site for you? That is one kind of management strategy, is having a team approach. And then number four, what are key reasons that a K-12 educator should have a website? So what are the benefits of having a website for your classroom? And then number five, which I'll add in, is going to be just discuss 3 to 5 key learnings from your chapters 11 and 12, like we discussed on your book here. Okay, so that will be your 5th discussion board question. And then here's some of the key vocabulary for online learning, online communication that you're going to run into. NetLingo is one of my favorite online dictionaries for current kind of lingo for words that you typically maybe hadn't heard 10 or 15 years ago. And they stay up to date with kind of the colloquialisms, even some of the slang. So if you hear something used out in public at your school and you're not quite sure what it means, you can look for it here, and they have a search feature right here. Okay, your standards, of course, are important. We're going to be, topic is classroom websites, standard is ISTE-NETS for teachers, and you're really focusing on number 3, which is modeling digital age work and learning. And so you're going to be modeling for the students how to collaborate with other students, their peers, their parents, and community members using digital tools and resources to support student success and innovation. Directly aligned. Okay, so introducing our anticipatory set is here. So professional websites. There are several leading presenters, technology coaches, educational guru mentors out in the world, and typically they'll have a website to kind of communicate out their brand. Now, all websites are, of course, different. Some you'll find are super nice, some you'll find are kind of homegrown. Mine's somewhere in the middle. I did much of, actually, I switched over from WordPress to Weebly because I wanted to have a site that my students could see that was created in Weebly and what the possibilities are. So, and I did a find and replace for my name because it was Dr. Jensen. Anyhow, this is actually drcrystaljensen.org still. Like here, I need to update my domain name, but until then, you're going to search for Dr. Crystal Moore. This should still take you there. Let's see if it does. It does redirect. And notice that you're going to have similar things that I do on mine. You have a home, I have a blog, I have an about page, my CV is there, it needs to be updated, some projects I've worked on, some of my publications, my gallery, and I do need to update that. It's going to be likely, that's going to happen next summer, or this upcoming summer. Some media, and then a contact page. So you're going to have almost each of these pages on yours as well. I recommend that you get a professional headshot as soon as possible. Even if you have a photographer friend that has a high quality camera that can do it for you, but you want as professional and high quality of a photo as possible that you're going to use and reuse over and over. This photo here, this is Sequoia. He created the Cherokee Dictionary in the back. This was taken at the Oklahoma State Capitol. And I use this photo for everything. It's on my door if you come to my office, it's in my email signature, it's on my website, and it just shows consistent branding. So the branding for a product like a cereal box, they choose what that box is going to look like. It starts out as cardboard and then it goes through a process, and you know what you're buying with that cereal based on the box, and that's just an example. Every product that you buy or that you subscribe to or that's out on the market has a brand to it. And you want to decide a bit of what your story is. Much of my brand is technology. I do a lot with Native American studies since I'm Choctaw. And so that's kind of the intersection of my brand. And so of course your photos, your any images or graphics that you use on your website, you want it to be all in alignment. And so for you, part of your major brand of who you are is that you are going to be probably a K5, K6 teacher, and you may have a focus in a certain area. Maybe it's in Native American populations, maybe it's in your focus areas in technology, maybe it's in rural and remote schools. You're going to work at little country schools or something like that. But decide what you're usually the easiest way to do it is decide 3 to 5 keywords that describe who you are as a professional and what you do as a professional. So once you hone in on those 3 to 5 keywords, then it helps to have any of extra words or extra images or any blog posts or publications you do. You all want that to speak back to those key 3 to 5 words of who you are. Those 3 to 5 words will often go into a mission statement and vision statement. Say you were going to develop a consulting business or a company out in the future. That is when I work with folks on branding, because I've taught marketing at various levels. I always start with choose generally 3 to 5. 5 is a good number of keywords that describe you, and then we go from there throughout the process I just described. So there's my website. This is I do independent consulting on exactly what I'm teaching you, which is instructional technology integration into classrooms, into businesses, into organizations. And here's some of the key items we focus on. We do e-learning, etc. And honestly, I've actually done very well with the consulting business. And now that I'm a full-time professor, I can kind of pick and choose the projects that I want to work on. But I just did a consulting gig a couple of weeks ago during spring break, and they honestly, they paid me $150 for an hour. So not bad in southeastern Oklahoma income rates. So consider that, and as you progress in your career, perhaps you can do some consulting as well. Here's another, she's a previous K-12 teacher. Her focus was on special education. She worked with blind students, and then she created this project called Rock Your World, where students around the world came together and collaborated to co-create music. Huge project. She got tons of speaking and publishing deals from it, and she's created this website. So she went from Rock Your World to Rock Our Strengths. She was the EdTech lead at Will Smith School in Calabasas in Southern California, which is just inland from Malibu. And this is her website, Carolyn McGuire. And she has several websites, but this is just her newest one. So go ahead and visit her website, and I want you to click through the different social media options she has. Click through her website. Notice she has some not as easily seen buttons up here. Services, this is her bio or about page. This is her store. You don't have to have a store, but you certainly could for even your classroom. Maybe you have t-shirts that you're going to sell, or you're going to take sign-ups for something. Maybe you're going to sell your classroom yearbook through your website, and even if you were giving it away, you could still charge a penny for it so that folks have to register to get it. Lots of options here. The paid the store option is a paid feature on Weebly, just so you know, but we'll look at that in a minute. Anyhow, so Carolyn McGuire, and this is Rock Your Strengths. So kind of look at the different layout of these websites. Angela Mayers is a very prolific speaker. She, again, K-12 teacher. I believe she was an English language learning teacher. Written several books, and just kind of a motivational speaker. And then she has Choose to Matter is her key area, her slogan, basically trying to inspire the genius in everyone. She travels a lot. Here's all her social media. Here's her blog, her store, her initiatives. You can hire her to come in and speak. Anyhow, I really like the looks. Obviously, this was a professionally designed and created website. It's very well done. It looks professional, and so just go ahead and look. And actually, your website can be very similar to this. You won't have near the amount of content that she does, but she's been doing this a long time. So so on each of your websites, you're going to have a blog page. So here's Angela Mayer's blog page, but you're going to have a blog page too. So I wanted you, this is actually my friend Kit Glazer, and we did our doctorate program together. She came in a year after I did, and I encouraged her to stay in the program, and she actually did a doctorate in EdTech, not org leadership. Anyhow, so because you're going to have a blog page, and because following other bloggers is a key place to obtain online, ongoing professional development and create your own online professional learning network, I wanted you to have this this website. So here's 52 education blogs you should follow. There you can also search for, education technology blogs, just about any area, whether it's home construction or education technologies or early childhood literacy, any of topic you're looking for, there will be significant blogs. And what I recommend you doing is just, top education technology blogs. Do a search, and then you'll have a list of all of them. So I just wanted to put this as an example. You can look for others, but 52 education blogs you should follow. And here are some student website samples for you. I have curated a lot here with on Digo. I used to require that my students create a Digo account. I haven't done that this semester. But Digo is great because it, sorry, it's going to make me go through that. Because you can save, there's a little applet right here, and so anytime I want to save a website, I just click on that D if I'm on a website I really like, and I save them with bookmark, and it tells me to add some keywords about it. I've been looking for bamboo flooring. You can mark it private or not. I can share it to a group. Notice that I have several groups here, and then one of them is EDUC 3313. So feel free to create a Digo account. I'm not going to require it, but I highly recommend it for the use in your own use in your classroom. It just helps keep all of those online resources that you use organized, and then again you can create a group and share it. So like with 3313, I have tons of stuff that I share and give out all the time. Here's some previous websites that I've shared there. Feel free to look through those. And then here's some more that I specifically saved. Here's Kelsey Winchester. She did a great job. She has classroom management, blog, photo gallery, portfolio, about, and contact. I didn't require her to have this classroom management page. She just went ahead and added it, which is fine for me. Okay, so you can visit her website there. If she wanted to do kelseywinchester.com and get rid of the Weebly, she just needs to then register the domain and then pay those fees associated with that. So you buy the domain. She would purchase kelseywinchester.com at whatever it costs. There's different prices to different websites, and then you have to set that up with Weebly. So sometimes I'll buy a domain within Weebly because you can search and look for it there and purchase it there. Or also GoDaddy.com is often where I'll do a search for a name, a website name, and then let me just show you how that's done. And then you can GoDaddy.com. Okay. So say that I was going to look for Dr. Crystal Moore. Go to GoDaddy.com, type in the string address of that, and I like .org because it just sounds more holistic. And then do a search, and it's thinking. So right now I'm seeing if that name's even available. And actually, I'm going to do it without the .org. Just do Dr. Crystal Moore. Okay, so it is available. And here's drcrystalmoore.net, drcrystalmoore.pro. That sounds pretty good. .us, .tv, .me. Anyhow, so you can look through the different options. So say that I wanted to buy drcrystalmoore.net. Oh, I could do .crystalmoore, and it would be $11.99. So I would pay that $11.99 to just reserve the name, and then I would go back to GoDaddy, and there's instructions on how to tell. I'm sorry, go back to Weebly. There's instructions on how to tell Weebly that you own this name and that the page you created is associated with that, and they'll take the .weebly out. Okay, it typically with your name fee and then the mapping fee or the annual fee for that, it's typically about $100, $75 to $100 is what you can expect to spend for your reserving your name or using your own name on the website without that .weebly, as an FYI. Okay, so back to our website or our presentation. Jennifer Clark did a great job too. And she has her own custom banner there, an about, a contact, a gallery. So this is the core pages you're going to be using. Her social media is here, and feel free to visit. And then as well, Shay Henderson's website did a great job. And then Mrs. Jackson. All right. Okay, so some of the creation tools that you're going to use, starting with Weebly. I'm requiring that all of you do website in Weebly. It's the easiest, most user-friendly website creation tool that I've seen, and I've used a lot of different ones. For our EIL website here at Southeastern, we use WordPress, but for your purposes, for a standalone classroom, the Weebly is going to be way good enough for what you're doing, and it's free to start. Okay, here is the link to their beginner's guide, and they give you step-by-step instructions on how to set up that website. I have never had a student that tried not be able to make a website. They've all done an excellent job. I mean, they may have forgot a page or something, or didn't upload content completely, but they certainly had no problems with the technology of it. And so I've been really impressed with Weebly. I've been using it for classes like this for about 3 years now, and it's been excellent. So here's how to get started. Click on that link, and I'm not going to walk you through how to set up the website because Weebly already has this done for you. This is the beauty of flipped learning. This will be the beauty of flipped learning in your own classroom, and we'll let the experts of Weebly teach you how to do that. Here's another page, so more of like a print-based, so first steps, intro to content, intro to page layouts, how to switch themes, and feel free to go through all those. Okay. I also wanted you to see Google Classroom, which we currently use Blackboard, so this would be used instead of Blackboard with your classes. Likely when you get out into teaching, you may or may not be provided with a learning management system. It very well may be Google that you use. I consulted with a school. Well, I'm still consulting with them, but I consulted with them on this piece about 1.5 years ago, and they chose to use Google for their LMS. Other ones you'll hear about are Blackboard, Desire to Learn, Edmodo actually, and let's see, Canvas is the one I like the best. But anyhow, Google Classroom is free. Microsoft is coming out with a similar product, but your organization has to have an agreement. So your school, your nonprofit school, will have to have an agreement with Google to get the Classroom feature. And not everybody gets the Classroom feature with their G Suite. Here at Southeastern, we just got that. So I think I'm going to be using this in upcoming semesters where the students actually have to use Classroom as part of our instruction. But if you can get their IT department and your administration at your new school, you will be able to use this as your main learning management system in your classroom. If you don't get it, probably the most available, it's free as well, and similar to it is Edmodo. So go to Edmodo, edmodo.com, and that's the most similar to Google, and it's free as well. Okay, give me 1 minute while I turn on my power. There we go. Okay, so actually, and now I am going to take you out to, here's Edmodo. I've used this with college classes before too. And very similar to Google Classroom. The Google Classroom, you have to have that full G Suite capability, so your IT department does have to be on board. Here, you can go straight to Edmodo, and you don't have to work with IT or anything else like that to do that if you don't have another learning management system. I think Durant used Honey, or some product called Honey like that. Anyhow, there's a lot of different options, but here's a free one as well. And then Blackboard has course sites as well, which I've been interested in. I like to just use them all because you never know what, because I work with students all throughout Oklahoma and Texas and some in Arkansas, and I've worked with students in California. So every district has something different, so I kind of spread around. But course sites is free too, and it's built by Blackboard, but it just isn't connected to an organization. So you can use this as a standalone product in your classroom. It's free if you don't have anything else. So I wanted you to know about that as well. And then here's some others. So say you don't need a full website, you just want kind of like this is be more like a digital one-page bulletin board space. It's about.me. It's still being used. It's fully integrated with social media. I like it because I can carry all my social media on one page. And if you're going to teach web page design with your students, this would also be a fun one to share with them. So aboutme.com, I'm not requiring you do this, but I wanted you to know that it's there because I think it could be a wonderful addition to your classroom. This could also take the place of a newsletter or a brochure on a monthly basis or quarterly basis. And This could be part of it, like a travel unit. Students have to, or the state reports, they have to create an About Me page for a state report. Lots of powerful integration options for this About Me tool. Speaking of social media, so you just did a presentation on social media and education in a previous unit, and then also wanted to revisit that again because you are going to have social media plugins. As you saw in some of those examples, you're going to have your Facebook, your Twitter, an About Me, whatever, automatically connected to your Weebly. So that means when you update your website, that will automatically send that post to your Facebook and Twitter, okay? Which will prevent you from having to update 5 different websites every time you want to send out a message, okay? So you're going to have your social media connected, and you saw in the previous examples that every website here has social media. Actually, I'm not seeing them here. They should. Maybe it's just not on the screen capture that I got. But so here's Jennifer's. Kelsey, I believe hers was down at the bottom. And Angela Mayer's is up here in the corner. So whatever template you use, it will place it in different places. But so again, they have their social media linked. And then again, on the back end in the system preferences in Weebly, you can connect your website with your Facebook and Twitter so that when you update your website, that it copies the message over to those social media. So, okay, so going back, and then also again, here's another article on social media as a revisiting of that topic. And then here is a tool that I absolutely love. It does take a little bit of time to get up and running, but once you do, it saves you an exorbitant amount of time. So it pays you back in spades. And you can get started with for free. And what this does is that you can send out one message, or you log in through your HOOTSUITE. So you'll log in, and then you have all of your social media listed on your page, and you can check the boxes of the one you want to send. So you type out one message and then check the boxes of Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube, and you send out that video to all of those avenues at once instead of having to copy the message over manually to each. Again, for a one classroom purpose, it should be free still. I've been with HOOTSUITE for a long time, but just because you're using a one classroom, it still should be free. So, so with all that being said, here are your discussion board questions again, and remember that, which I read to you earlier, so I won't read them to you again, and it's Module 5, and your 5th question is going to be reflect on your 3 to 5 key learnings from chapters 11 and 12 in your textbook. Here's your rubric, which is very similar to the previous ones. I list what I'm looking for in your website overall, and then let's just start with the target. You're going to have at least 22 to 25 points, contains all or you're only missing one item here. Okay, so in each one of these sectors, if you get the points, if you get the 22 to 25, that means that combined throughout each one of these sectors, you hit the target with at least 22 points. So for this introductory section, you have 3 points that's possible. And typically, this one has ABC, so this one has 4. So typically, I'll take off about a half a point in this section if you're missing one. So if you're missing 2 items, you lose a full point, etc. Okay. Here's your discussion board rubric. And y'all have been doing pretty good with that. And then here's your step-by-step instructions. So you're going to create web-based, cloud-based accounts for Weebly. I need to change that. Your Gmail account just for professional use. Here's some social media accounts that I want just for professional. So if you have a Pinterest and Instagram that you've been using for your college days, that is not the one that you're going to use for this. You want to have a new Mrs. or Mr. So-and-so for your classroom, that is only used for your teaching purposes. As I'm sure you've heard, there's been more than a few students that have posted non-professional things, I will leave it at that, on their social media, and it's costed them professionally, it's costed them personally, but certainly professionally, and we've had lost scholarships, all sorts of things. So you're going to have a whole different set of online communication tools that you use just for your classroom, just for your kids. Now, again, you want to follow your school's acceptable or responsible use policy, but that means never allowing students to, or never accepting friend requests from your students, right? So you're going to set these up as pages that can be liked, but not that you're going to be taking friends on. So you're going to be using it as an online billboard where you post things, but this is not a place for open communication with your students, all right? So you're going to lock down the communication or the posting, and lock down certainly that your students can friend you. Do not accept friends, because you are a mandated reporter as a teacher, and so if a student tells you that they're going to harm themselves or somebody else, or that they're, any number of things that are happening that shouldn't be, you are mandated to report that. And so, and for whatever reason, students often feel more comfortable to do so on social media, and so so lock down the commenting feature with your external. You can keep your discussion boards with your internal, your only for your classroom, not published on the World Wide Web. Your internal sites like Edmodo, like Blackboard, that sort of thing, where you have to have permission to enter, or you have to log in. But for these external open things, maybe for your class or for the community or for parents, don't allow comments is my safest advice, and don't allow friend accepting. Just allow it to where they can like the page or follow you, and then it's just basically an online display board. And and then set up your HOOTSUITE so that you can manage all of this, or at least start to manage this. Okay, and each one of these tools, again, I'm not going to walk you through how to set up a Facebook or how to set up a Twitter or Instagram, because each one of those tools have very detailed video-based, print-based instructions on how to create and manage each one of those tools. Okay, and you can even do searches for using Twitter in education, or using Instagram in education. You can Twitter and Instagram in middle school grades, and you'll have more resources than you'll ever know to do with. Okay, so create the following Weebly pages. So on your Weebly website, these are the pages that I want to see as the examples I gave you. You're going to have a home page, right? A landing page where everybody starts at. That would be my drcrystalmoore.com. Or whatever your home page name. Then the about, that is your short bio. It tells a little bit about who you are, and maybe about your mission while you're going into education. Remember, this is the website they're going to use for your classroom. This is not for you to start a business. This is not for your work, just for your experience at Southeastern. This is a website that you're going to be using in your classroom, and use to connect to support your students and your parents, right? This is your professional website that you will be also able to use for interviews. A blog page, so ongoing. Again, this is an online digital display board where you can share resources or knowledge, or you say, okay, we have a field trip on Friday, that sort of thing. I gave you 52 blogs to follow. You can go and look at what those examples of how they do that. A portfolio. This is your work at Southeastern, or maybe out in the community, where you curate the projects and the work that you've done. Gallery, those are your photos. If you don't have a lot of professional photos, either you working in a setting or headshots, those sorts of things, just go ahead and use family photos or whatever kind of place savers for now. But you'll want to kind of add more professional photos as you get them. And then your contact page. How does somebody get a hold of you? And then number 3, connect all your social media accounts to your website and your HOOTSUITE so that you can publish directly from your website to your social media without having to go straight to the social media and update it or your HOOTSUITE. Now, unfortunately, HOOTSUITE doesn't have a connection with Weebly at this point, so you can't manage your Weebly from HOOTSUITE. Hopefully, they'll have that plugin ready soon. But you will have to manage both your HOOTSUITE and your Weebly, but those should be the only two that you have to, because everything else is going to be connected to those two. Okay. And here's my information. Please contact me if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you for all your work.